Hello students, in today's video we will see regarding the topic installation of hose. In previous lecture we have seen what are the hose, how many types of hoses are there, what are the different materials used for the hose pipe. Hoses are also termed as pipe. Also, what is the difference between hose and pipe we have seen. We have also seen different materials in plastic and rubber which are used to manufacture the hose. Now today friends, hose is one of the important part of the hydraulic system. It transmits the fluid from driver to driven. So it's very important that the maintenance and installation of this type of component should be done very properly. If the installation is done very proper, then the maintenance of hose will be very less and give the service for the longer period of time. Now let us see the installation of hose. Now we know that if some component is not properly fitted, or if proper maintenance or proper installation is not done, often and often we will find the maintenance. So in order to avoid the frequent maintenance and to facilitate easy working, to increase the service life of the hose, it is very important that the installation of hose should be done very properly. If we don't do so, there will be maintenance in the particular duration of time and the operating cost will reach higher. There are some particular points, and we can say the important points to machine builders and maintenance mechanics for the installation of hose pipe. Now the very first point, while connecting two elements through a hose, it will be better if excessive torque in the connections hose is avoided. What does it mean, friends? Torque means unnecessarily twisting. Excess twisting is termed as torque. While connecting the members, the excessive twisting of the hose should not be happened, otherwise there are the chances of failure of the hose pipe. Second point is, some slackness is to be permitted to avoid strain to the hose, as it is noted that when pressure is applied to the hose tends to bend and decrease in length. Now what does this actually means? That while we are assembling or fitting the hose pipe, there should be some slackness. Slackness means jhol, dhilapan, means the hose pipe should not be end to end touching. There should be some looseness in the hose pipe, so that when the pressure is applied to the hose, it tries to the means there is some it tries to bulge, and there is a decrease in the length of the hose pipe. So because of this, if hose pipes are connected or tightened to the fixed points and no slackness is given, there are chances of generating tensile stress, in unnecessary tensile stress in the hose pipe, and which may result to the failure for in a shorter duration of time. Elastomer hoses fastened between two endpoints are found to have 5% change in ionic in length. Now what exactly this means to say, if we are using the elastomers hose, the material of elastomers, there is almost a 5% of change in length when they are when a pressurized fluid is flowing through them. Next point, similarly, enough slackness is also helpful to avoid kinking of the hose. Kinking means the, again this word is just like stretching or pulling. So if a proper slackness or excess slackness is given, or some unnecessary twist, kinking means twist also, if enough slackness is there, once again I will repeat friends, the word slackness means जो झोल या looseness of the pipe hose, that is termed as slackness, is also helpful to avoid kinking of the hose. So sometime during tightening some unnecessary twist is generated, so in that this slackness is helpful. It should be noted that only the hose and not the fitting is flexible. So when we are connecting the two ends of the hose, they should not be flexible, they should be fixed. Only the rubber plastic pipe, the black color pipe or the loose pipe should be loose, otherwise the end point should be very fixed, means rigidly fixed, so that the joints may not leak. Hence the hose run should be long enough to bend during the machine movement. So while operating, you have seen the JCB, the arms, they move with along almost 180 degree or more than 180 degree. So during that motion, the hose pipe should bend enough so that it won't crack, and it should elongate enough so that it won't fail in the twisting. So the slackness should be such, it means it should be enough that, or the length of hose should be enough that during the operation of the machine it don't affect it externally, the pulling or twisting won't affect it. Hoses should never be installed with a twisting, as too much twisting may weaken the hose structurally and may also cause to loosen the fittings. This is also one of the very important point, because friends, this is the major problem faced during the fitting tightening of the hose, because while tightening we apply the torque at both the ends, so the twisting takes place, and if the twisting is high enough, then it will weaken or loosen the fittings. So it's very important to keep in mind that while twisting or tightening, the hose should not twist enough so that the structurally it weakens. Now structurally weakens means what? We have seen in previous lecture, we have seen the construction of the hose pipe. So the inner layer is plastic or rubber. It is generally of 3 layers: inner layer, intermediate layer and outer layer. Inner layer is plastic, outer layer is rubber. Inner layer is plastic or rubber, outer layer is rubber. Intermediate layer is the reinforcement of cross raised or based or cross woven steel wires. So sometime unnecessarily twisting develops the stress, internal stress in those cross woven wires, and may fail with in some duration of time. So it is very important that there should not be excessive twisting which weakens the hose structurally. The next, so friends, the next point is, sometime to avoid a longer loop, a number of fittings may have to be used. As I told you earlier, the long loops are avoided, and better using the long loops we have to use number of small fittings, but there is also a limitation of using the fittings. If you are using excessive fittings, there is a chance of generating a lot of heat, and due to this excessive number of lines in the or line fitting. So if there are number of line fittings in the system, there is a chance of generating excessive heat. So it's very important that longer loops are avoided, and small fittings are used, or the junctions or connections are used, and these connections also should be limited into particular number of units. The next is high temperature may damage the hose cover and may shorten the useful life. Friends, I told you earlier that our hydraulic system is entirely working under the pressurized system, under the pressure, high pressure. So temperature is proportional to pressure. Once the pressure rises, the temperature also start increasing. So if temperature increases above the particular level, so it may damage the internal material of the hose, and it can also cause an hazardous or accident. So it's very important that the temperature of the fluid should be under control, and the material which we are using for the hose should be very extraordinary heat resistance material, or it should be properly insulated, heat insulated, or else it will damage your hose pipe and create an accident. So it is also mandatory to use heat resistance hose material recommended by the manufacturers, or using the fire sleeves in order to dissipate the heat and reduce the temperature, or whatever the temperature is being generated in the pipe should be withstand or resisted by the hose pipe. Otherwise it will reduce the life of system also. Design and installation of the hose run should be such that rubbing and abrasions with the metal member of the systems are avoided. So what exactly it means? Suppose you are designing and installing or fitting the hose pipe. These are the parameters to be kept in mind, that hose should not be assembled or fitted in such a way that they rub over each other. They should they should abrase each other. Abrase means rubbing. The pipe is touching to some surface, and where due to the motion of the arm or the pipe is slowly being rubbed over some rough surface, that surface slowly will deteriorate or remove the upper surface of the hose, and decrease the thickness of the hose pipe and reduce the life of the hose pipe. So it's very important to be kept in mind that hose pipe should not be installed such that they are rubbing to each other or being abrasive to some particular metal member. In order to avoid this, clamps are oftenly used to group the hose pipe. If there is a cluster of hose pipes, they are clamped together, or they are guarded with some metal strip or some metal sheet, so that they won't rub each other. Also, the hose pipes are kept away from the moving parts. For example, in JCB we see there the arm of JCB is continuously moving with 3 or 4 free degree of motion. In that case, if the hose pipes are attached in such a way that the motion of arm does not affect the hose, or it should be far away from the moving parts. This also will increase the life of hose pipe, and it is also a part of good designing of an hydraulic system. So that it should be kept in mind that the clamps are used to clamp the hose pipe. They are not left free enough and away from the moving parts. The next point, during installation of hose in an hydraulic system, it is important to take into consideration the manufacturer's instruction and recommendation. Friends, entire hydraulic system, see, whenever we design some particular system, it is first designed, and as per the requirement of our pump or our pressure line or our actuator capacity, the hose pipes are selected. Manufacturers recommend particular hose pipes with particular material depending on the pressure is to be withstand, and also the turning radius of the pipe as per the requirement of our hydraulic system. So it is very important to understand first our basic requirement of the hydraulic system and use only those hose pipes which are exclusively recommended by the manufacturer. The reason behind is that if we are not using the recommended hose pipes, what will happen? With short duration of time, the life of hose pipe will reduce. It will increase the maintenance, and ultimately it will increase the operating cost. There are also chance of creating an hazardous or accidents if a proper specific hose pipes are not used as recommended by the manufacturer. Normally the manufacturer specifies the bends means the band radius, environment and oil compatibility, and pressure capacity. So these are the major 3 points which are to be kept in mind while recommending the or while taking into consideration the selection of the hose pipe. Environment and oil compatibility is also very important, because the environment where the system or hydraulic system or these hose pipes are being used, it's very important. Suppose we are using it in the minus degree or at below 0 degree, the material required for the hose pipe is somewhat different. Where the material is or the hose pipe we are used where the system is above 100 degree, there the material of hose pipe is different, and also the compatibility of the oil, synthetic oil, natural oil, or depending on the ester based or petroleum based oil, the compatibility of the oil, hose pipes are selected. Pressure capacity, this is the very first important point, that your system is going to operate under what pressure, and considering the factor of safety, the hose pipe of particular pressure capacity is selected. So I hope all the points for the installation of hose pipe are clear to you. All these 8 points are clear to you in mind. It's very important while installation of hose. This plays very important role. So for any erection engineer or any installing engineer, it becomes very important to keep in mind all these 8 points for the installation of the hose in order to avoid the hazard or hazard conditions, or in order to avoid the regular maintenance or unnecessary maintenance, and also to increase the life of the hydraulic system. So friends, I hope points are clear to you. Thank you very much for watching this video. I also request you all to subscribe our channel SSIT.GANDHINAGAR. So thank you.